is there really such thing as a film as awful as you're making it out to be?
I don't know. Why don't you look at your phone for your next film?
Oh. Well, that could do it. Yes, this is a real movie. It exists. It came out earlier this year, and now I'm stuck reviewing it. Woohoo! This all happened because of one man, a director and writer named Daniel Ferenz. He hasn't really made anything general audiences will recognize. His career has mostly been made up of documentaries. But in 2018, he decided to turn his career around with the Amityville Murders. It was about the true story of Ronald DeFeo Jr., who killed his entire family on November 13, 1974. This event obviously inspired the numerous Amityville horror movies, but the one that Daniel made was about the actual event. I haven't seen this film, but it's pretty obvious that his love for making horror films based off of real-life murders started here, and would go on a year later with The Haunting of Sharon Tate. However, would his alleged horrible filmmaking also continue on with him? Well, I guess it's time to find out for myself. Without further ado, the next film up in this painstaking cycle, The Haunting of Sharon Tate. Oh look, it's Saban. That's not always the best of signs. Oh look, a quote from a guy that has nothing to do with this story, but audiences will recognize him as intelligent, so maybe they'll think this movie is intelligent. Another not so good way to kick this off. So the movie opens up with what Daniel is trying to make you think is documentary footage with the real Sharon Tate, but because Hilary Duff's acting is so poor, we all just know it's Hilary Duff.
Have you ever had what some might term a psychic experience?
Yes. In fact, I have. My husband Roman and I had recently rented this beautiful home up in the hills of Hollywood. It was about a week or so after we moved in, and I was awoken by something in the middle of the night. I turned on the light, and that's when I saw this strange man just standing in the doorframe of our bedroom.
That's right. Not only is this based on the real-life murders that took place, but it also is throwing in a Sharon Tate had visions of it happening before it did storyline. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because it only gets worse from here. Oh wait, it looks like the movie's already about to end. Damn, that was quick, only 6 minutes in and everyone's already dead. Unfortunately, I'm only kidding. They flash back to the past where we properly meet Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring as they drive up to the house.
Did you know that cielo means heaven in Spanish?
Well, your heavenly hideaway hasn't changed much in 6 months. Not that I can say the same for you.
Do you think it's possible to fall in love at first sight twice?
You're the one who left me for another man, remember?
Well, you didn't become stylist to the stars by just running your fingers through their hair.
What can I say? I like to keep my clients happy.
Whoa, that acting was awful. Like Lifetime original movie awful. At least it's just these two, though, and no one else.
Surprise!
God damn it!
Our beautiful Sharon. And where is that red bastard husband of yours?
You do remember that she's married to your best friend, right?
Don't be jealous, baby. You know I'm all yours.
Imagine making a movie about real-life people that were savagely murdered, and your way of honoring them and portraying them in your film about this tragedy is to give them the worst direction possible, which leads to performances that not only would Lifetime reject in a heartbeat, but also manages to disrespect these innocent people that were killed many years ago because of how annoyingly cliche and one note their characterization is in this film. Could not be me.
The simplest of choices can affect the entire outcome of our lives. Wojtek, what if you had never had that run-in with Roman at your school dance? And what if I had never wandered onto that movie set when I was 17? I mean, I had always dreamed of being an actress, but what if I hadn't have been at that exact place on that exact day?
If you couldn't tell, this whole fate thing becomes pretty important, so make sure you remember these totally well-written words of wisdom. But moving right along, the friends move on to play this game where Sharon asks the question,
will I live a long, happy life?
Who is that?
Yeah, cool, man. Peace.
what a coincidence!
I'm coming.
Oh, so not only did Sharon get visions of the murders, but this board game also tried to warn her beforehand? Man, I sure wish this useful info was on Wikipedia. It's really fascinating. In the dead of the night, Sharon hears something suspicious, so she gets out of bed to investigate. Oh my gosh, a jump scare! No one was even in the scene to react to it. Also, I have no idea where this is taking place right now since Sharon isn't in frame, but OMG, a loud noise and shadow came by and I am so scared! Okay, are you fucking kidding me? Sharon doesn't even see this guy. There's no need to insert a loud sound effect to tell us to be scared. At least other bad horror movies have jump scares where characters are reacting to them at least. In this one, nobody sees it but us, the audience. It's so obvious that Daniel thinks we're stupid and can't tell that's supposed to be scary. The annoyingly loud door knocking wakes up the whole house. No one's at the door, but a package was left behind.
You got some nerve.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the dog, just worry about this package. I'm sure everything will be okay with this dog later. Oh no. Well, shit. I don't know how this could have happened. Who would have thought that letting your dog run out in the middle of the night after having your door violently knocked on only for no one to be there would be a bad idea? Well, since there's no clear suspects in this case, I guess we're caught at a dead end. Oh wait, yeah, it was these two. Someone called the police and have them arrested.
Maybe we should head back.
Relax, it's fine.
They of course don't call anyone and instead decide to have a scene where Sharon gets freaked out by Manson's music. Well, that's enough of that. Now she's by the pool talking about destiny again.
Do you think that we are slaves to our own destiny?
This again.
Bro, even this guy is sick of it. Just cut it out of the movie. You know what? Don't even make the movie.
We're probably living out different versions of our own story for, who knows, probably forever. I guess in movie speak, it means we can rewrite our own scripts.
Fuck you! Now we get to the part of the movie that I honestly can't even show you. Because this window is left open, the Manson family is able to sneak in and start killing these people. For YouTube guideline reasons, I really shouldn't be showing this scene, so I'm not. All I can really say about it though is that it just made me feel morally ill. Like, in my stomach, I felt sick watching this scene, because essentially the movie is a fiction, but for some reason they wanted to incorporate Sharon Tate into it, so now they have to film a scene that is a reenactment of a real-life murder, and it's done horribly. And there's something so... it's just really sickening to me, and a part of the reason why I'm not showing it is to kind of spare you of that feeling too, because it will kind of make you feel kind of ill. Maybe you want to throw up. I kind of wanted to the first time I saw it. Once again, not because it's a well-made scene. There's like fake CG blood in there, the acting is still trash, and the camera work sucks. But at the end of the day, just morally speaking, as far as how they had to make it in the first place, it doesn't leave a good feeling in my heart. And if you really want to watch it for yourself, because it is a very inept scene, go ahead if you want to. I can't stop you. But just know that it's really awful. And... it's just too awful to sit through even for a second time, so we're just gonna skip over it for this video. No, it doesn't even really matter anyways because it's all a dream, that's right! She had a nightmare about the murders, in detail! Jesus fucking Christ, does Daniel have any shame?
Morning, hon. How you feeling?
The next morning, Sharon goes to the fridge and discovers this. Really? That's your reaction? I think the reaction they were looking for was panicking, screaming, quickly shutting the fridge in fear. Instead, she's reacting as if she's seeing something completely normal. She just doesn't know what it is. What is that? What is that? What is that? Sharon's paranoia continues to build, so she brings the spooky Manson music to Stephen Parent's trailer to see if he knows what it is.
Interesting. I think it's an encode.
What does that mean?
This tape, it contains subliminal messages. It's mostly used in advertising to convince people to buy things that they don't need. It's used all over the media, radio, TV, movies, music. Personally, I think it's all part of a plot created by the government to turn us all into conformists, to keep us from questioning what's really going on with the man, to keep us from thinking for ourselves. Think about it.
Okay, I didn't ask for all this conspiracy theory bullshit in a Sharon Tate movie, Daniel. Later that night, she actually sees one of the tedious jump scares being shoved down our throats. How classy.
Oh my God, I've been trying and trying to reach you.
She gets a phone call from who she thinks is Roman Polanski, but then the movie decides to get really trippy out of nowhere.
Roman, they're involved in the plot. They're not who you think they are. Roman, listen to me. There's this man named Charlie, and I think he's the leader of some kind of a cult. Roman!
I just want it to be known right now, that wasn't me. That wasn't me editing that part. That was the movie. After seeing that demonetizing image, we realized none of what we just saw was real because she's still at Steven's trailer. Whoop-de-doo.
We're in danger, real danger.
Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, the baby kicks really hard. She sends Steven to get his car so they can drive on out of there. Well, that's just poor timing. Because Sharon knows Steven's in danger, she decides to run to his car and get in? While the Manson family just stands around and watches? Doing nothing? Really? Steven and Sharon run back to the house and go lock everything up at the last minute. Because having nightmares of cultists getting in your house with open windows wouldn't tell you to do that earlier, I guess? Look, even the window that she specifically dreamed about being opened is still open. Are you kidding me?
Sharon, I was at the restaurant. Where did you okay?
Jay picked the wrong time to come back here. Look out! Tex Watson somehow got inside even though we just showed all the entrances getting locked. It appears as though Sharon isn't dreaming and the real-life tragedy is about to play out for real this time. But all of a sudden, a cliché horror thriller kicks in to save them. So it looks like we're getting some Quentin Tarantino mess around with history type story. Except not as clever. Or well made. Or well acted. Or well written. Pretty much just awful in every way Tarantino isn't. They run and hide in Steven's trailer while this one cultist is about to get a taste of their own stupid jump scare medicine. The guy with this name that I won't even dare think about pronouncing smashes her over the head and drowns her in the tub, filling it with blood. Do you get it? That shot from before was foreshadowing this scene. Do you get it? Do you understand what they were doing with the complexities of their filmmaking? But it's not over yet. Tex is still walking around looking for them. He manages to find the trailer and decides to take a look inside. I mean, the last shot we saw of them, they were just sitting on the ground, which it looks like he could definitely see from outside. But okay, I guess he doesn't see them.
Hey, asshole!
Oh, okay. They were just all miraculously able to sneak out of the side before Tex could see them. Okay, sure. I guess I'll buy it. So Sharon kills Tex and our heroes all start walking off the property in unison. Until Sharon Tate decides to go back because, and I'm not kidding here, she realizes the movie was a fiction.
We're probably living out different versions of our own story for, who knows, probably forever.
So yeah, this whole fate and destiny thing that they obnoxiously kept mentioning was just so they can have this ending where the fictional Sharon Tate realizes that her night could have been much worse. In fact, it could have been actually factual to the real-life story, where real people with feelings and more depth than these one-dimensional characters lost their lives in the most brutal way possible. Thanks a lot, Daniel! This might just be the most morally wrong film I've ever seen. If you want to make a horror thriller about characters surviving a cult attack while your main character has spooky visions of it beforehand, fine. But why involve Sharon Tate in this at all? This movie is as cliche as can be. There's literally no need to portray these people like this. I guarantee it was probably just so more people could be interested in the project. Daniel thought to himself, well, if I make it about Sharon Tate, then I'll definitely get more of an audience since that murder was very famous. He already did it with Amityville, and he's about to do this whole thing again with Nicole Brown Simpson. That's right. His next film is called The Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, which I'm sure will be just as insultingly and morally despicable as this movie here. I never want to shame anyone for working on a film project because they probably need the job for the money, but you can look for work in much better places than a movie about Sharon Tate's murder. But if it had a cliche horror thriller twist to it, it's disgusting. Someone please cancel this Nicole Brown Simpson movie before it does any more damage like this film has. Well, that was certainly painful. I understand why you put it in this cycle now. Jesus Christ.
I know, right? Pretty terrible.
So, what's next?
Oh, you know.
Is it time?
Oh yes, it's time for the Greasy Strangler.
Fuck me.